Hi guys! This week I have a fun lesson for you. I hope you guys are really going to like it. And what we're going to do is we're going to find some shapes. Doesn't matter what, we're going to trace them. But the trick is we are going to use drawing behind. So I hope that you guys remember from last year how to draw behind. But if not, here's how you do it. So in art, drawing behind is really called overlapping. That's the official name for it, and that's what you would really use as an art term. But in my class, we like to call it drawing behind because it kind of helps you know what you need to do in order to make it happen. So it's really simple, and it just works like this. So if I have a circle, and I want to draw behind my circle, then what I need to do is lift up my pencil at some point. So here's what kids usually do. So if I say draw a rectangle that is behind your circle, a lot of times kids, especially young kids, will just draw the rectangle right over the top of it like this. And so it looks like the rectangle is see-through or the circle is see-through, or maybe they're both see-through, and you can't really tell which one is in front here. And if you're drawing more complicated things, it can look really messed up. So we don't want to do that. So if I want to draw my rectangle behind, and I want it to be right here, I'm just going to start drawing it. But when I get to my circle, I'm just going to lift up, draw in the air where I would draw my rectangle. When I get to the other side of the circle, I put my pencil back down and I keep drawing. And then I'm going to finish drawing my rectangle. Okay? So now it looks like my rectangle is behind my circle, and you can't see this part of the rectangle because it's behind the circle and the circle is not see-through. So I could keep building this up. I could do as many things as I want. Maybe there's an arrow that goes behind both of these and it's pointing this way. So I'm going to show you like what kids would do, draw over the top usually. And then this starts to get like, well, what's where? So we don't want to do that. That's what not to do. So if I'm going to put my arrow here that goes behind, I'm going to just draw my arrow until I get to my circle, lift up and draw in the air until I get out the other side. I'm going to make it a little bit longer than I did so that we can still tell it's an arrow. So then I put my pencil down and keep drawing. So here's the point of the arrow. And then when I get back here, as soon as I hit a line, I know I need to lift up and draw in the air. Now don't get tricked here because there's two things. You don't want to put your pencil down here yet. You want to get all the way until you get to the other side of the circle. And then when you're in the clear, then you're going to draw the rest of your arrow. Okay, so there's my arrow going behind. And I could draw as many things as I want behind. I could put a heart behind here. Here's my heart behind everything. And I'm going to lift up, draw in the air. Going to go down and around. Going to go up and then up. When I get to something, I got to lift up, draw in the air until I get around it. And things like this can be tricky. So this level of the heart is right there, right along that line, and it would be coming out right over here and connect. That's kind of messy, but you get the idea. So there we go. And you can just keep drawing as many things behind as you want, and everything is behind everything else. Okay, so now that you remember how to draw behind, we're going to just find some shapes, and then we're going to trace them onto our paper. But every shape that we trace has to be drawn behind all the other ones. So now you get to kind of go on a hunt around your room, around your house, and find some things that you would like to trace. So I found a couple of things so I have this little snowflake thing, and I thought that would be fun to trace. And I have a roll of tulle, so that'll give me a nice circle. You can use like a cup or a lid or whatever else. So I have my dinosaur case from the dollar store, and I thought, oh, this would be neat if I open it up like that. It might give me a neat shape to trace. But I'm going to go hunt around my house and see what else I can find, and then I'm going to trace them all behind each other. Alrighty, so I actually did this in Sketchbook for you guys, and then something happened to the recording and it didn't actually record, so I'm redoing it another time, and I'm going to try on the paper this time so that we can just have a look at it on paper because it was really weird in Sketchbook. So the first thing is, out of all your objects that you have, you want to remember to start with your smaller objects first. So for me, one of my smaller things that I found was a bottle of nail polish. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my paper. I'm just gonna trace around it. And, oh, that got a little messy. Hopefully you won't be as messy as me. Okay, so there's my start of my nail polish with my little messy line. But remember, start with your smallest things first. So I had some kind of small things that I had my circle from my tool. And this is going to be a little different. In the end, I'm going to show you my decorated one that I did in Sketchbook because that's already decorated. I'm not going to do that again this time. So you might find with your smaller objects that you're spacing them out a little. But remember, our goal is to create art that uses drawing behind. So I'm going to do my snowflake. And I'm putting it kind of between these two so that I have a place to kind of draw behind. So as I do this, I'm going behind anything that's already here. And it gets kind of complicated with things like the snowflake because you'll have maybe a lot of stuff to draw behind too. And yeah. Okay. So my snowflake came out. You guys can see it's behind my circle and my nail polish. Okay, sunglasses. So, now I'm gonna, you don't want to keep spacing them out. So you don't want to go like, I mean, it's okay to have a couple spaced out, but I don't want to go like, okay, now I'm gonna put my sunglasses way over here so I don't have to draw behind, because the point is that we want to draw behind. So once you get a couple of things on there, position them, where they'll kind of be going, they'll kind of be overlapping a little bit at least. Okay, so I'm just gonna trace around. Let's see. I'm gonna put this how I think I like it. Okay, I'm gonna put my sunglasses kind of down here like this. And I know you guys can't really see this as I'm tracing it, but hopefully you guys will see what I mean. Because if you know how to draw behind and you're just overlapping everything and drawing it behind, then there you go. And that came out a little weird because my sunglasses are a little tilted, so that one side looks shorter than I think it should look. But that's kind of how it came out when I traced it. I must have tilted them. So everything's getting kind of overlapped now. I have my phone. And I'm gonna, look and try and find like an interesting way to put it. So like where would it look good if it's behind or whatever. So arrange it how you like so that it's kind of coming out behind some things. I'm gonna stick this up this way, I think. And make sure that I'm drawing behind. Everything else gets drawn behind. So make sure whatever you have there, you are not allowed to draw on top of it. And if you have spaces in between, and I'll show you this in just a second, you have some tricky areas. So what I mean by that, okay, if you guys look at my cell phone here that I just traced, sorry, everything's backward, it's really hard to, okay, so right in there, see that little line? I didn't want to miss that, and it would have been really easy to miss that when I was tracing, but that is behind everything, and there was still area there on the paper for me to do that. So make sure that you get all your lines where they should be and don't lose any. All right, I think I have, yep, one more. So these big old scissors, and I thought those will look cool if I put them on my page. So I got to decide how I like them, arrange them somewhere that in a way that I like them. And now I'm going to go ahead and trace them. And again, this one, because I have a lot of fiddly little bits with that snowflake, I'm going to be lifting, drawing, lifting, drawing. And so this is a really good practice for drawing behind because there's a lot of lifting and everything in between, and you have to kind of figure out, is that background, is that what? So like right now I'm going, oh no, I can't draw there. I thought I should draw there, but that's where my cell phone is. There's a tiny space between my glasses and my cell phone. And then over on this end, the scissors come out and then they go behind my glasses, but then there's also the inner loop of them. And then they come out again over on this side. So it can get tricky. It can definitely get really, really tricky as you do this. So you're gonna have to really be careful and think about it and I would recommend using a pencil so that, and then drawing really lightly, like tracing really lightly, so that if you need to erase, you can do that. Okay, my scissors are done. And so here on my page is all my stuff drawn behind everything else. And so right now, you can kind of tell it looks like stuff. But I'm gonna show you, and I'm not gonna show you this one because, like I said, I'm not gonna decorate this one because I actually already did this once. But what I will do is I'll put up the finished one that I did in Sketchbook for you, and you'll see, I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff. I forgot to do some of the stuff. And then once I put that Sketchbook one up for you, you'll kind of see like, oh, you can decorate it with cool colors, patterns, texture, whatever you want. You can add more lines to this. So at this point, it's kind of like a jumping off place for your art so that you can take it now and turn it into something super cool. So have fun with that. So go ahead and find your objects, get a paper, trace them, and everything goes behind everything else. So to help you remember to do that, never draw on top of something that you've already drawn. Okay, so you can just remember it like that. If you have an image or a picture of something there that you've traced already, nothing is allowed to go on top of it, and that will help you remember to put those lines behind. Once you're done, have fun decorating it however you want to decorate it. Make it as cool as you like, as funky as you like. Just go to town and have fun with it. And then make sure that you take a picture of your art and upload it to the Google Classroom. Alrighty guys, have a lot of fun.